What is going on, guys? This is Joe. Welcome back to a brand new episode of The Breakfast Club. For those of you that are new to my channel, The Breakfast Club is a series on my channel in which I superset between full day of eating vlogs and then mini Q&As that are left in the comments down below or DM to me on Instagram at Joseph_Garcia17. More importantly, make sure you follow me there. So if you have any questions regarding nutrition, training, just anything in general, really leave them in the comments down below and I'll answer them on the next Breakfast Club. It's a mini Q&A. Keeps the subscriber to the content, creator relationship nice and tight. So for this morning's Breakfast Club video, I am actually eating protein pancakes right here using Pro 7. This is the churro flavor. This is a whey casein blend protein, 34 grams of protein for only 160 calories. This right here can be found on NutriShopUSA.com, and if you use code JGFree at checkout, you save yourself free shipping. Help support me and help support the channel. Full recipe for these protein pancakes will be in the description down below. Full disclaimer, I did eat French toast before these protein pancakes. Was thinking about making a grilled cheese, but these things were just calling my name. It's 4 pretty decent sized pancakes for 721 calories with over 34 grams of protein. A little bit of like a lower calorie diet. You might not want to eat the full batch of these things. You can maybe make half, save the other half for later, all that good stuff. This right here is what the pancake looks like. Let's get this little bit of taste test. Oh yeah. This churro protein right here, I'll be honest with you, if you're a protein drinker, I'm not a real fan of drinking my protein. More or less like to bake or eat my protein in certain recipes. So in recipes, it's amazing. Drinking, it's okay. I'll be completely honest with you. Stick with the basics when it comes to drinking protein, like a vanilla or a chocolate. If you bake with something crazy like pumpkin or churro, that's when the flavors get really good. I have been dropping a couple more recipes in the Breakfast Club videos other than just eating French toast. So if you guys make any of them, tag me on Instagram or comment down below for the algorithm, like, hey, I made the French toast, hey, I made the pancakes, hey, I made the cheesecake with the cookies. Alrighty, and just like that, pancakes are done. Never mind the wardrobe change. I actually just put a new shirt on, take it ready to go to the gym. I want to wear a long sleeve, got legs and biceps, a little bit of a pump cover, so then when it's time to hit biceps, the tarp comes off. So let's get right into these questions, shall we? Donovan Crawford asks, what is your view on intuitive eating? I got kind of like a twofold answer to intuitive eating. If you've never tracked calories before and you like are not even sure what the definition of a calorie is, then I don't recommend intuitive eating. I mean, you intuitively overate if you're overweight, and you're intuitively under eating if you're underweight and you want to gain weight. So intuitive eating for you clearly doesn't work. At least for right now, is so you kind of track your food and understand where you're at. Regardless if your goal is to gain or lose weight, I would recommend to actually start tracking your calories. Get a basic understanding of what, a 500 calorie meal looks like in various forms. So whether it's a salad, whether it's, something you make at home, whether you go out to go eat at like a fast food restaurant or a restaurant in general, they have the calories there. I recommend to start actually tracking your calories. Instead of just using just tracking what you naturally just put into your body, every day. Start having a calorie goal. If your goal is to start gaining weight, track and aim for a goal that puts you in a little bit of a calorie surplus. If your goal is to lose weight, be in a calorie deficit and track your calories to obviously get there. And then once you, of course, have gotten the hang of tracking calories for a little while, then maybe start trying to shift gears to intuitive eating. But this is why it's important to weigh yourself every day and get that feedback and track your median weight. If you start intuitively eating and your goal is to lose weight and you track for a little bit and now you start intuitive eating and you start gaining weight, well then maybe it's time to start tracking your calories again and continue to track your calories until you really get the hang of it. Same thing goes as far as you're under eating trying to gain weight. So my view on intuitive eating, unless you really have tracked your calories for quite some time, then you can maybe get away with intuitive eating. But other than that, I would recommend tracking your calories if you have a set goal. For me personally, in off-season, I will be intuitively eating. If I'm maybe recording a full day of eating for the video, I honestly might track 1 or 2 days just to get an idea again of what that 3,000 to 3,500 calorie looks like, what that feels like for me with my normal day-to-day diet. Then after that, I'm pretty much going to be intuitively eating. I mean, I eat a lot of low-calorie dense foods, and so my off-season calories between 3,000 and 3,500 will be no problem at all for me to be in that range. All right, we got one more question from Vincent Tamayo. Oh, Joe, what's the best workout routine for beginners wanting to put on muscle? P.S. Keep up the good work. It's funny, whenever someone asks me about like questions when it comes to like working out or nutrition, I always think back to my 15-year-old self, and it's like, what do I wish I would have known then that I know now? And what would I have done differently? Give you a little bit of context. When I was 15, I started working out at the gym. I was only going to the gym gym around 3 days per week. I was going as much as like I was able to handle, because I was also playing soccer, 6 to 7 days out of the entire week. So weight training for me was just like an extra bonus, trying to put on a little bit more lean muscle tissue. You need some type of stimulus, at least for sure, on the upper body to start growing muscle. Yeah, I can eat more and just gain weight naturally, but to put on lean muscle tissue, there needs to be some type of resistance on the muscle. You can't just like do nothing and grow muscle just off of nutrition alone. It requires, a breakdown of the muscle tissue to grow back and get bigger and get stronger. So I was only going to the gym 3 days per week. What I was doing, I was hitting like chest, like only chest, back, like only back, and like legs, honestly. Like I wasn't even really like actively hitting my shoulders how I was supposed to. Like there's body parts I was definitely skipping out on, week to week, that I just wasn't hitting, that I definitely should have been doing. So whether you're a beginner or whether you're advanced, I think the routine or the concrete rules of training should be the same across the board. Now, as far as the overall intensity goes, that's where the differences lie. So if you're looking to put on this lean muscle tissue, a very basic rule of thumb, something that I have followed for years now, and like I will continue to follow, is that here are like the basic rules that I mean that apply the same for beginners and advanced. You should be hitting every muscle group twice per week. If you're looking to just put on lean muscle tissue, this allows you to grow that muscle 104 times out of the year, because you're hitting every muscle group twice per week, rather than only 52 times out of the year, rather than hitting that muscle group once per week. So that's kind of rule number one for me, that if I can go back in time, I would hit every muscle group twice per week. Now here's how you do that basically if you don't go to the gym 6 to 7 days a week. If you're only going to the gym 2 to 3 times a week, you're basically going to be doing full body workouts 2 to 3 times per week. That's a great way to hit every muscle group twice per week. And I would prioritize mainly your compound movements, right? Bench, squat, deadlift, pull-ups, chin-ups, or like lat pull down or a row. Multi-joint movements that allow you to hit not only like, let's say your back on a lat pull down, but also engage the biceps a little bit. Same thing with like the bench. You're hitting your chest as your main muscle group, but your front delt's getting worked, and also your tricep as well. Standing overhead press or dumbbell shoulder press, some type of actual like shoulder press movement, allows you to hit basically the meat of the shoulder and also engage a little bit of tricep. Same thing with like leg press or squat. You're hitting multiple muscle groups within the legs themselves. Those are the exercises I would prioritize when going into the gym. And if you're only working out 2 to 3 times per week. If you're working out 4 times per week, well then I would basically split it to an upper body, lower body split and do that twice per week. If you're going to the gym 5 times per week, well then this is kind of how I would prioritize it. I would go upper body, lower body, push, pull, and then leg. So you're hitting every muscle group again twice per week. Go to the gym 6 days a week, then you can go just basically push, pull, leg split, keep it really simple. You can do what I do, basically push, back, legs, and biceps, as long as you're hitting every muscle group twice per week. Also, as far as like how much volume should you do in the gym, like how many sets of, X, Y, and Z should I do? Every muscle group should have between 10 and 20 sets per week in the gym. So usually for me, like on push day for my chest, for example, I like to hit my chest as my most main focus of that push workout. So I'll do a total of 10 sets for my chest. And I'll split that between like 3 to 4 different movements. Shoulders, I like to hit relatively 10 sets for my shoulders, again splitting that between 3 to 4 different movements. And then for me, I'll hit around like 5 to 6 sets for my triceps. Triceps is a little bit of a smaller muscle, but they don't need as much like really beat down as like the chest or shoulder does. And as I'm working out my chest and my shoulders, my triceps are getting worked out anyways in some way, shape, or form. So like the best workout routine if you're a beginner is to hit every muscle group twice per week, do 10 to 20 sets of that muscle group a week, and really focus, in my opinion, time under tension. Every set should last between 30 seconds to 60 seconds long. Really focus on squeezing and contracting the muscles. Don't ego lift when you go into the gym. We're not a power lifter, so like for me personally, I don't really dip below 10 reps on any of my sets anymore. So due to the fact that I'll prevent injury this way, I will stay safer. It allows me to have more time under tension on my muscle, and it allows me to have just longevity while I work out. The worst thing that you want to do is basically do something that is maybe too much for you, and then you go and injure yourself, and now you can't train. I had a client basically that I told for cardio to just basically only do walking. Like, don't even worry about running right now, just do walking. Because you're starting to get into like working out and moving more than you did last time, if you exhaust yourself to the point where you go on a run, you could actually injure yourself. You're going too hard too fast. You're taking on too much for the body to handle that it's just not used to doing. On that run, they ended up like fracturing their foot, like ankle area. I don't remember exactly if it was a foot or the ankle, but they basically just injured themselves. And I told them to walk, don't don't run, and just focus on burning calories and getting your cardio in. Guess what happened? They wanted to do more than they can handle, and now they're injured. So be safe while you're in the gym and don't get injured. That's the worst thing that you can do for your gains, is to get injured and to be able to not work out and make steady progress over time. Because of overloading and making gains slowly over time is going to keep you motivated, is going to keep you want to go to the gym, because you're seeing slow and consistent gains, rather than the person that is just going ham, maybe seeing some crazy gains off the bat, but then gets injured at some point, falls off the wagon, whatever the case is, and it has to almost like restart every so often. How many times do you hear that with people that are saying, I'm getting back into the gym, I'm getting back into the gym, I'm getting back into the gym? Well, because whenever they get back into the gym, they go a million miles per hour, can't handle the same load that they used to handle. They want to get back to their best version of themselves when they were at their peak, and they try and chase that, and they end up going too fast, too hard, and get injured. So if I can do it over again, go back in time to when I was 15 years old, I would basically train only twice per week because I was an athlete. So weight train twice to 3 times per week, and I would do full body workouts to start off with. Once I got pretty efficient at that, then I would split it up into upper body, lower body, going 4 times per week, and then maybe like in the summer off season, I might bump it up to 5 or 6 times per week. I don't recommend weight training 7 days a week. I like 1 day completely off from the weights. And in that case, if you really want to do some activity, go for a walk, go for a bike ride, do some type of form of cardio, take a day off from the weights. So kind of recap that a little bit, all right? Hitting every muscle group twice per week, 10 to 20 sets per muscle group, and then really focusing on time under tension and slowly progressive overloading, being safe in the gym and not getting injured. What I recommend for the beginner. What separates the beginner from the person that's a little bit more advanced is just the overall intensity of when you work out. I'm never going to tell somebody as a beginner if they're first start lifting weights to start including now drop sets and supersets and like sets to failure and beyond failure. That'd be too much for that beginner to handle, and again, runs a risk of getting injured. For someone like myself that's a little more advanced, I throw in a lot of sets to failure, beyond failure, drop sets. I'll throw in supersets. I'll throw in cluster sets, partials at the end of my set to train beyond failure. Those are advanced like techniques that if a beginner were to do that, they would just be way too sore, way too often, and they wouldn't have the motivation to go back and continue training again. So train smarter and train hard. So when it comes to like working out in general, in my opinion, that's the best way to go about it if you're a beginner. Anyways, I'm wrapping the video up here. Give that pancake recipe a shot. If you do, tag me on Instagram at Joseph_Garcia17. If you guys have any questions, want to be featured on the next Breakfast Club episode, make sure to leave them in the comments down below. Only thing I'm wrapping up today is this video. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new. It's been your boy Joe. Peace.